And now, from this place of deeper relaxation, from a place of peace and tranquility, I call upon Shaltazar, the Gavish Banenu, the keeper of the secrets of the universe, to come forth and bring us a message that is in our highest good. Yes, we are here. We are here with you now and forever. We have never left your side. And we realize that at times in this human incarnation, it is felt that you have been deserted, that you have been left alone to fend for yourself. But that is an illusion. We are here whenever you call upon us. And we know many of you, as you go through your trials and tribulations, you call out. You call out to the divine for help. But we are sorry to inform you that when we communicate back to you, you are not listening. You are not hearing us. You are not seeing us. You are not feeling us. You are not knowing us. And that is because you are so caught up in what you are going through. You are so focused on the trials and tribulations. You are so focused on your sense of being deserted, of being alone, that you do not realize we are here with you always. This evening, we would like to bring you a message that, if applied in the right way, can help you through these difficult times. Because although we would like to tell you that the rocky road that some of you are on and have been on will mitigate, we cannot tell you that. The choices that you make, the choices that the collective consciousness makes every moment of every day, are determining what is to occur in what you would call the future of your planet. We have spoken to you many times that the darkness, that the difficulties, that the trials and tribulations are not bad. They are not punishment. They are not retribution. And we have said before, they are not even karma. From our side of the veil, what we see happening on your planet, the environmental turmoil, the human suffering, the natural disasters, are a step in the right direction. And we hear you call out to us, how can that be the case? And we say, there is cleanup that is required. There is purging that is required. Many of you know friends and loved ones who have transitioned out of physical form as of late. And we know that it is sad, but let us assure you it is for purpose. For everything that occurs on the planet of free choice, on the planet of the duality, has purpose. And often it is so difficult for you to see that purpose because you are walking around in a cloud. You are walking around in a fog. And that is occurring because you are looking for that which you wish in the wrong place. It is very natural in this duality to look to fulfill your desires from outside of you. And that is because it is natural for you to assume that as an individual, you are separate from other human beings, and you are separate from the source. And as we have told you before, that is not the case. That is merely an illusion. And so, when the fog is heavy, when the mist gets in your eyes, when the darkness creates a shroud around you, learn to focus inward. For as you do so, you will be able to let go of your separateness and connect to the unity, to the oneness that is your very essence. And we know there are people in this room who have done so. And when they connect to that inner essence, to that inner source, to that inner unity, they feel blissful, they feel peaceful, they feel aligned, they feel content. And often that occurs in gatherings like this, in your rituals of meditation, of yoga, of all other sorts of rituals that the human being has come up with to find that inner essence. And yes, we are pleased, we are happy if such a thing was possible for entities on the other side of the veil. For although it is not, we will not complicate things by explaining that with which your lower dimensional vibration may have difficulty comprehending. And we wish to congratulate those who find those moments through rituals where they can go inward and find the harmony and the peace and the contentment and the alignment. But we wish to tell you that you are capable of connecting to that which we refer to more of the time, not just when you retreat to yourself, but you are capable of doing so in your everyday living and your jobs, being with your family, being with your friends, being with people who do not believe as you believe. You are capable of connecting to that inner essence all of the time. What we would like to explain to you is that in that place where you feel at one, where you feel unity, there is something very special available to you if you wish to connect to it. And that is your personal power. You may have heard that term before, And all of you have different perspectives. All of you have different perspectives on what personal power is. But we would like to explain to you in greater detail what we mean when we refer to your personal power. For even the word power has connotations that are far-fetching. Often, your civilization thinks of power as strength, as control. But that need not be the case. There is a wide spectrum of definitions, of connotations for power. And so we say to you, personal power is your own power that is aligned to you. It is not the same for each and every human being. Quite the contrary. It is very different. It is very varied. And often part of the challenge you have is you try to emanate, you try to copy the power that you see in someone else. And that is the source of your frustration. For only when you find your personal power, the power that is genuine and authentic to you, the power that God gave you upon incarnation into this human form. And yes, we will repeat, the power that God gave you. And we hear you cry out, what does that mean? What that means is that in your DNA is your personal power. Yes, in your DNA, which means it is in every cell of your body, your own personal power. That which connects you to everything that ever was, everything that is, and everything that will be. Power beyond your knowing. Not power from the physical human sense, not control, not brute force, for power is much different than control. The power we refer to is the power of godliness, the power of Source, the power of the great Creator. For you must understand that God has great power. Not necessarily the power that some religious doctrines believe. Not the power of a king or a dictator. Not the power to judge, not the power to punish, but an all-loving power, an all-knowing power, an omnipotent power. And you have heard from many sources that within you is a piece of God. And we are here to inform you that within that piece of God is your personal power. And we hear you cry out, but I try to be powerful. I try to assert myself. I try to get what I want. And we know that is the case, for we have witnessed you over and over again trying to exert in some way the power to get what you want. But what we are here to tell you is that often the power you use is not your aligned power, is not your source power. It is your learned power. It comes from your conditioned beliefs. It comes from what you were taught. and you see someone else that appears powerful, and you think if you can do the same, then you too will have that power. But we are here to tell you that only when you become aligned with your personal power, with the power that is yours, that has your blueprint in your DNA, that is when you will learn to soar. You will learn to manifest with ease and grace. And please don't misinterpret what we are saying, that it is easy to connect with that personal power. For many in this room have incarnated many lifetimes and have not yet mastered finding their personal power. And whether you align with your personal power or not in this lifetime, please know you will not be judged. You are loved unconditionally and always. The reason we bring you this message is so that possibly you will be able to have an easier, less challenging, less difficult time of your human experience. So we ask you to go deep within your heart of hearts, deep within each and every cell of your body, and speak to your personal power, for it will speak back to you. Ask it how you can align with it. Ask it to explain to you the nuances of your personal power. For many of you, the pioneers, are very sensitive. And we know that life on your planet has become somewhat challenging for the sensitives, for the feelers. But we know that you are here to show the world a new way. For as we have told you before, it is through feeling, it is through your sensory consciousness that you can connect to your divinity. And whether you choose to admit your sensitivity or not, we know it is present in so many human beings that are alive on your planet at this time. Many as yet have denied their sensitivity, have denied their creativity, have denied their yin, their feminine energy. But we are moving to a time where more of that energy will come forward. And as that occurs, you may find it even more challenging to connect to your personal power, because you may ask, if I am so sensitive, if I am so caring, so kind, so gentle, how can I ever find my personal power? For sensitivity and power juxtaposed may feel strange. We often do not think of the sensitive ones as powerful, but that is not the case. For if you look closely at human history, you will see many of your great leaders who were both sensitive and powerful. Buddha, Jesus, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Yes, we would agree that those gentle, sensitive, caring leaders who are extremely powerful may be rare. But they were the pioneers. They were the ones who came forward to show you that it is possible to stand in your personal power and yet be loving, and yet be kind, and yet be considerate, and yet be compassionate, and yet be empathetic. For as we have said, God is all-powerful, and God is loving, compassionate, caring, kind, and empathetic. And since you have a piece of God within you, then it is possible for you to connect to that power. To be feeling, to be sensitive is not to be weak, the way many of you were taught. It is time for the kind-hearted, for the loving, for the compassionate, for the empathetic to rise up, to connect to your personal power and to show the way, to take a leadership role, to let others know that we can create a kinder, gentler place. Yes, you can create a kinder, gentler place. For we have created that within you. Within you is the potential for everything. The potential for light, the potential for dark, the potential for love, and the potential for hatred. But what you will find is that when you connect to your individual personal power, that which blueprint is in your DNA, you will find by its very nature that it creates love, it creates kindness, creates compassion, it creates goodness. And when you tap into that power that is not aligned with your personal power, then you will create differently. For those who create hatred, for those that create dissatisfaction, for those that create disharmony, for those that create greed, for those that create unkindness, are creating from a misalignment of their personal power. And we realize that this concept may be difficult for your linear thinking mind to comprehend. And that is why we are delivering it to you in this more relaxed, meditative state. For in that state, we speak to your heart of hearts. We speak to your feeling consciousness. We speak to that part of you that understands very clearly the message that we are bringing you. If it feels familiar, if it feels like truth, then you are aligned with your source. So we will remind you once again that if you want your creation to be easier, begin to understand to a greater degree your personal power. And we shall give you a hint. Have you ever in your life done something that seemed easy, that seemed effortless? When you did, whether you knew it or not, you were doing it from your place of personal power. You see, you all have the power to do whatever it is you wish, easily and effortlessly. Power, personal, individual, DNA power, is an important component if you wish to manifest and create with greater ease. When you find your individual personal power, it will supercharge your creations. Once again, we remind you of the times that you put effort into something and it created what you wanted without stress or strain or difficulty. When you did, you were aligned with your personal power. Everyone, every human being has his or her own unique personal power. And as we suggested earlier, go inward. You will not find that personal power looking outside of yourself, looking at your neighbors, looking at your friends, looking at who you may think is a powerful human being. Instead, look inward. Put your hand on your heart and ask your angels, ask your guides, ask the invisible world to help you find and become aligned with your personal power. We are here for you anytime you wish to converse with us. Simply enter a state of stillness and peace, and we shall appear